Good morning, everyone. So today is Tuesday, the 10th of March. We are all gathering at this time to do our morning chanting, to show our respect and homage to the Buddha for his kindness and compassion towards all sentient beings. Today is a very beautiful day. Sunshine from very early morning, and it's a bit warmer as well. So today we are expecting roofers to come and repair the roof leak that we have due to the 3 weeks of the rain. So both gable ends needed to be repaired. I received a message saying that they will come to do job today. So if they don't turn up before or maybe after 9 o'clock, then we have to call them to find out where are they or are they coming. In the meantime, we are having a PAT test. So today we need to collect all the electronic devices to get it tested. A PAT test we are doing every year for the insurance purpose. Since our organization is small, I'm not sure why we have to do it every year. So maybe need to explore on that as well. And also I got the good news that the monk in Vietnam and other 3 members got the visa. So they got the visa and they will be traveling for the event on the 17th of May. So very good news. So this particular monk, he was in Wat Phak Nam temple with me. We studied together, we were together for a long time. But I left in 2006, but he continue for another couple of years, and he went back to Vietnam, and we didn't have any connection for a long time. So we must have to thank the social media again that made us to contact again. So after that I visited him last year in Vietnam, and this year he's planning to come over. He's a well-known writer and well-known preacher nowadays. He often traveled to Australia, New Zealand, and America as well. But obviously in Vietnamese language. So it's good to have him over here. So slowly monks are getting ready to be here. And tomorrow we are going to have 2 monks and 2 lay members coming to stay for a week to help out with the place where we are going to enshrine the marker stones. And marker stones we have here, and I encourage members to come and put the golden leaves before we bury it this 1 week will be very busy from tomorrow onwards, preparing and getting the woods to work on. So these are the things taking place, and some other things happening as well. And tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we are having a trustee meetings, and a Sunday we will have a meeting, another meeting for the preparation of the ceremony and the improvement of a preparation. Gavin has managed to book 2 toilets, and how much was it? 288. So I was, why 288? So the invoice was 240. Why 280? 88. I didn't realize it was a VAT as well. So anyway, that's happened, and other things are slowly coming into hand. When we do big things, or whenever we do the events, we think that we have prepared everything, or we have gone through all the details, but quite often we find that on the day of an event there are things missing, or there are things we forgot, which is very common. And those events, when we found that something is missing, something is forgotten, and we have to have those, in those moments we have to be very mindful and dealing with that mindfully, otherwise can cause a lot of trouble and frustration, as well as there will be a conflict between members. So whenever we see in those mistakes or forgotten items or forgotten topics, or even forgotten the names of a people, those moments we have to be very mindful and dealing with that, otherwise can be very troublesome. Once before we move into this place, we used to hire a hotel room to do the ceremonies, particularly the Vesak ceremony and the Katina ceremony. So though back then we used to have only 2 events, and only 2 events that we raise a fund, and the rest we just stay and meditate or chant and like that. So we didn't announce any fundraising, anything at all. It was a hard time, but whenever we had those events, we had a good turnout. Good turnout, that means about 20 to 30 people. Yeah, and this 20 to 30 people, as we always have this program that you have to meditate, chanting and meditation first for the event. There won't be any entertainment and so on. And it happened that 1 year we were having a Katina ceremony, and I was staying in the center, and I asked other monks to take things and get ready. And it happened that the monk that I asked to take the Buddha statue and also decorate, he wasn't happy that I asked him to do. He was a bit of a nobly one, and so he didn't want to do. He asked the other members to do it. It happened that other members were busy, and I took the Buddha with me, and decoration was the Buddha's canvas was upside down, and I was very angry in my head, and I couldn't do anything. So I just say, okay. So I just covered it up with the Buddha, the statue, like that. So, and at the same time, there were misunderstanding about the names and our members, those who came, who never been to the event, and their names were mistaken, and were very unhappy. And then I just look at it and just meditated on that too, like that. So whenever these things takes place, we have to be mindful and not causing extra harms. And I just contemplated on that and go on and fixing it, and I try my best to fix it. But I remember they never come back, simply because of the name, like that. So similarly, whenever we are working to do something, like let's say when we are chopping the wood or cutting the woods, and those moments, there will be spikes pointing and then wrongly, and then it's not a wrongly, but it points, and then if you are not mindful enough, then it just spikes you, and it can spear in your skin and can stay in your skin, or sometimes can cause the blood to come. That happens, and it sometimes can be very painful. So likewise, and then our mind also like that too. So if our mind is wrongly pointed into something, or having a wrong perception to things, or having this mind in a wrong way, then doesn't matter how hard you try to fix it, sometimes will be hurt. And it's very difficult to put it into the right way, pointing into right way, which is the reason why quite often time we are actually living with our own perceptions of the things, of the world view, of the people and people's thinking, and so on. And in the same time, because of that wrong view, although you may have heard the right thing, may have heard the good thing, but because of that wrong view, having in mind, or having a perception, wrong perceptions about those things, then what happens is that you will not be able to accept or comprehend in that at all. It's like in the Vedas, not Vedas, in Upanishads, in Hindu scriptures, the Sankaracharya, the 8th century Sankaracharya, he was so against with Buddhist philosophy at that time. And although he studied the Buddhism, he was very against with the Buddhist philosophy, and later he wrote on those Upanishads saying that and the Buddha was born in the world to make people miserable and make people go into the darkness, and encourage them to do things that against the Atmans. So with that, we should not be following the Buddha's principles. Likewise, so there were a few about it written, and with that view that carried for many hundred years. Even nowadays, there are people who believes in it too. And with that beliefs, they against with Buddhist philosophy or Buddhist monks, And somehow about 300 to 400 years ago, again, there another story popped up saying that Buddhism is also part of a Hinduism, and a Buddha is also one of the reincarnations of the Lord Vishnu. So with that, they could not resist the philosophy of it, but they tried to include the philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, in it by adapting a Buddha as the reincarnation of a Lord Vishnu. But somehow, despite of that, they do not allow you to study Buddhist philosophies. The Buddha is worshipped as one of the reincarnations, but you are not allowed to study the Buddhist philosophy. And not only not allow you to study the Buddhist philosophy, they also don't allow you to go to the Hindu temples. Like in Nepal, there are a few places like Pasupati, the temple of a Lord Shiva. You are not allowed. As a Buddhist, you are not allowed. Or general public, you don't you don't know whether they are a Buddhist or not Buddhists. But as a Buddhist monk, it's visible. So as soon as you go close to the gate, then they will say that this is only for Hindus, not for Buddhists. And if you argue saying that the Buddha was or is reincarnation of the Lord Vishnu, then why don't you accept his disciples? Like that, still you're not allowed to get into that a temple. Similarly, in the royal palace in Bhaktapur, there is also one temple, and this temple also not allow Buddhist monks to get inside like that. So there are a couple of places in Nepal that Buddhist monks are not allowed to get in. Simply the perception has been wrongly placed. And with that, whenever people step in or whenever people want to go or do things, you're not allowed. And similar in our life too, little things, even the little things, if our perceptions has been wrongly placed, then we automatically block things and unable to learn and even to listen. We can't listen them at all like that. So it's very important that our mind got to be pointed into the right path. Then we will be able to change ourselves and learn things. Otherwise, we are in the darkness of our own perceptions that this is what I have known, this is what I know, and this is the truth. It actually exposes the ego and the conceit. Whereas the teachings of the Buddha is something that helps us to keep our mind open and see whatever is there and without any tents in it. It's like the Buddha used a clear lake. When you look at through the clear lake, you can see everything, all the stones and all the fish, all other the water creatures, and even algae or whatever inside the water. So you can see that. Similarly, our mind also, if we have trained ourselves and then look through, we can see different layers and different perceptions and different thoughts and different knowledge and all this ego and the conceit that we are holding. And we can see layer after layer. And the more we become aware of it, the more we understand it, we simply become a humble person and simply become a one who doesn't have any grudge or anything that causes troubles, and able to be mindful in every different situations that we come across, and mindfully able to deal. So that's why it's the practice of the Dhamma is not just sitting in a corner and separate from the society. actually, the more we understand the Dhamma, we able to go into the society and able to deal with every situations and not affected by them to us, because we see things as they truly are, and each different people are different and their understanding are different, and most importantly, each individual's perceptions are different, and many of them having the wrong perception, like the spike pointing into the wrong direction, and whenever you touch, it hurts you, it causes trouble to you. Whereas if it's been pointed into the right way, then our mind will be like a clear lake that we can see everything inside and won't be troubled by it. Yeah? So the practice of the Dhamma is actually to make us more practical and more applicable in every situation, and I want to be liking and disliking. We see everybody, everything as just the normal, as I am different, so they are. But within that differences, we build up our own good relationships and practicing the Dhamma to find the liberation eventually. Okay. So I think I offer this as a reflection for today, this morning, and with this may you all have a good mind and clear mind and find the freedom from any perceptions and get to the true understanding. So with this, let's do the chanting.